Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm Deborah McKeegan, the CEO of TexIntel, and I'm in Frankfurt at Texprocess, and I'm very happy to be with Adam Dakin of Verivide.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for giving me 5 minutes. I mean, these
pleasure.
shows are so busy. I don't want you to miss a customer, so let's...
No, I appreciate you stopping by and making some time for me, and I'm quite happy to do the same back for you.
Okay, great. Let's talk about the workflow of colour.
Yeah, sure. So color is such a crucial thing within the industry.
Yeah.
Sometimes overlooked by brands and retailers and underestimated in the importance of the process and the communication side of it.
Yes.
As you can see behind us, we've got some of our key products here as part of our workflow, our ecosystem.
Yeah.
One of the important key things to bear in mind is for many years, brands and retailers use fluorescent technology and the light sources that are used for those.
Absolutely.
So for that's now changed. The reason being, there's a ban that's come into place for fluorescent technology.
So we've all moved to LED.
Yeah, so we've all
Pretty
moved to
much.
LED technology, or the brands now need to start transitioning. So the equipment's there. So in 2023, we launched the Ultraview light booth and the VisionView. And then we've now launched our DigiEye imaging system as well, all under the same light source.
It's so important. I mean, back in the days when we were printing, the issues that you would have with colour, whether it was, for an interior, whether it was a wall covering, whether it was a carpet, whether it was a dress, matching up with the other items in the retail store and different retail stores across the group as well. You could be working with a global brand that's using different technology, different stores all over the place. So that standardizing lighting and then being able to standardize the color.
Yeah.
Super important, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's such a key part now. And, you're talking right from mill level all the way up to the end brand themselves. And actually having the same consistent viewing environment is key. You can't just put any old light source into an environment and work that way.
But it's also to make sure that light source is consistent as well. So it's like a printer. You have to constantly, you don't have to do it every week.
Yep.
You may say you do. You probably don't. Like, how often do you need to service these machines to make sure color is 100% accurate?
So unlike the traditional technologies or fixed technology, you don't have to replace out the LEDs in the Ultraview light booths.
Great.
Our units are 10 year plus lifespan on them. We have a yearly calibration. But what's important is that at the time of manufacture, every single one of our products that you can see on the wall behind you here are programmed to the same XY coordinate.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you're the brand head office or some part of their supply chain globally, you'll have the same viewing environment every time. And over the years, because it is tunable technology, unlike fixed technology, we are able to bring that back to the same XY coordinate. So year on year, over the lifespan of the product, you are basically ensuring the same consistency over those years and not having any drift in the product. So color confidence on something you approved a year ago or in the future will be exactly the same.
It's so important, isn't it? I mean, for the digital textile printing industry, I was educated in traditional manufacture where standards were standards and everybody adhered to them.
Yes. Yeah.
For many years, it's been a bit of a wild west out there in digital production with lots of different technologies using lots of different faces, colors, inks, all of that. And for the designer and for the retailer, it has been hard to nail that down to one and to standardize.
Yeah, and there's so many great products within that sector.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the color is not always one that features. So with the DigiEye system, we can image in your color standards and communicate that from a production point of view, but also from a design perspective, the images are color accurate. So you're taking that color data and that TIFF RGB file can be then uploaded into any of these design CAD softwares. But it's not just the color, it's also the appearance. So one of the things that a lot of these platforms struggle with is actually getting that color and appearance right. So from a design perspective and actually having your 3D designs and CAD drawings looking spot on, you can use DigiEye to be able to create that.
As a designer, that's what's so important, though, that you create the environment that your team work in. So you create the palette, you create the gamut, because you know which technology is going to be moving along the supply chain, whether it's for sampling or whether it's for final production.
Yeah.
And you only create in that color gamut within those specifications. And at the end of the day, if we can do that from the moment of creation to the moment of production and the moment of retail, we zero in on waste. Would you say color is the biggest fault that gets picked up at the other end? Well, because where products, are rejected because the colours aren't right in production.
And I would put that down to the different types of illuminants. So
Yes.
many brands and retailers are still using fluorescent technology, but
Yeah.
not just for the actual visual assessment, but using the spectrophotometer data or color matching within that, or match prediction softwares. They need to move to using LED sources.
Yes.
So an LED renders the color very differently. So if you're using these traditional methods, your product, when it arrives in store, would look very different to how that design concept was created. One of the big things we get is, well, we don't have any stores. We're an online company. Well, that's great. Your product looks great online, but when you buy that product, it arrives to your home lighting. You're going to have a different color temperature there when you're wearing that garment out into a restaurant, if it's a nice outfit that you bought for a date night, perhaps, or something similar. So it's important to be able to represent under different LED lighting and match prediction under LED formulation now.
I think so. I think you're absolutely right. And, at the end of the day, to reduce waste, we have to meet the customer's expectation.
Yeah.
We have to help them along that journey. As an industry, it's our responsibility
Yeah.
to deliver the technology and the software and the format, the specifications and the standards
Yeah.
that a digital version needs, whether it's printed using an inkhead
Yeah.
or whether it's designed as a virtual twin at the very beginning.
Yeah, definitely. And the reason to go with that virtual twin and be able to communicate from a DigiEye perspective, you want to reduce down your amount of shipping of lab dips, of first ball prototype materials that you've been sending through.
Going all over the world
Absolutely.
by DHL.
Yeah, definitely. The volumes that are done. But it's also not just from an angle of reducing your carbon footprint down. It's your speed to market and how quickly you can create that and react to the changes. So a lot of the clothing brands that we deal with, they're wanting to keep up with the latest trends and designs. And if there's a particular TV program that they're utilizing and they're creating a shirt for that in a certain colorway, they want to be able to respond to that quickly and not necessarily overbuy, but have enough time to be able to then increase the levels that they're doing and get the approval times done a lot faster. We can reduce that down with DigiEye to 24 hours now with approval versus the typical week plus that you would have. You would send your submission for the brand to approve. It's in transit for several days. It arrives in the office. It lands on the desk finally. They then look at it when they get round to it and make that approval or rejection. Then the whole cycle's got to go round again.
Yeah.
But with the DigiEye system, once the lab dips have been submitted or the bulk material, you can communicate that, send it via the portal. That pings up on an email for the brand. They go to their viewing station and they're able to accurately make that color decision, and from that system be able to reject or accept it, and that production site is then able to continue. Massively, yeah.
I used to work in the home furnishings industry, and we would be doing bed linen. We'd be printing bed linen all over the world, and we'd be selling it all over the world. Working from a UK studio to an American studio, but then equally the wall covering factory was underneath.
Yep.
All of that had to actually match together on the same color tone because it was ultimately all going to be in the same room, whether that room was in Hong Kong, New York, or Lancashire.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was done physically and manually and by the eye in those days, as well as having light boxes, but they were basically TL8 or artificial daylight kind of boxes. This is tightening all of that together.
Yes.
Global printing to reduce waste, which is just wonderful.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Adam.
Pleasure.
Taking up more than 5 minutes. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Thank you.